Hey there, crazy kids. I am the Good Old Gamer, continuing on from my previous video. Apologies if it was too long. I don't know. I might have split it up into two videos by now, but I'm just recording this immediately after, so you guys will know better about that than I do at this point. Anywho, I want to get this bridge done, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to record this video, at least get the pillars done. I don't know if we'll get to the walkway in this video or not. Depends on how long it takes us to finish up this, but we'll see. Obviously, because I'm recording this immediately after the previous videos, I cannot respond to any feedback you guys may have left, so apologies to that as well. Any of your feedback that is worthy of responding to in a video, I will do so in the next video, I imagine, after this one. Otherwise, I may reply in comments. I've been known to do that as well. We'll see. Let's make some more stairs. It takes a lot more stairs to do this than I originally thought it would. But I guess it is about, what, 8 stairs, so yeah, 16 stairs per pylon. I guess that is quite a bit. I guess it does add up. It'd also help if I didn't do that all the time. So what to talk about for this video? Last video I went on and on and on about my computer for no good reason until I'm sure you guys were tired of it, but that's okay. I guess this time around I can talk more about maybe Steam and my use of it and my situation when it comes to Steam sales and whatnot, because as I mentioned in previous videos, I do have an extensive Steam library, 600 games, and that's not an exaggeration. My Steam library as of this recording is exactly 600. I also have a few Origin games, but they're only like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those. And most of those are free because Origin gives freebies out every once in a while. But anyways, in a discussion I had with my buddy Mindfiend, I mentioned that I had like 600 games on Steam, and he was talking about how apparently I share the same situation as his buddy Narlo does, in that we both see a Steam sale for a game we want, and so we get it, whether or not we're going to ever play it. We get it regardless just because it's a good deal, first of all, Steam sale. You know, a $20 game that's 75% off, that's a $5. You know, it's hard to resist that kind of deal. And second of all, it's not a matter of being able to play it that really bothers us. Or at least it doesn't bother me too much. I mean, it does on some level. It's like, wow, I have 600 games, and chances are I won't be able to play all of them, you know. But it doesn't bother me so much, and I imagine it doesn't bother someone else like Narlo so much because we have the game. So at some point, there is the potential that we can play it. I don't know Narlo's situation, but for me specifically, I have all of my games, all 600 of my games, installed on my computer. I could literally play any of them anytime I wanted without having to wait on them, without wondering if I can install them or have space to install them or anything like that. I can just find their little shortcut in my folder, games folder, or else go on Steam itself and play it from there. And I can pick up and play them anytime. It's like owning my own like little video game store, like one of the old blockbusters or whatever, and walking in and just picking up a game off the shelf and playing it. Feels kind of like that. Whereas on the other hand, Mindfiend is in the opposite situation, I guess, according to what he said, where even if he's been waiting on a game forever, even if he really, really wants to play a game, um, he's mentioned that he won't buy the game unless he knows he can play it, like fairly soon after the purchase. Um, and so by comparison, he said he has maybe 100 games on Steam, and most of those were gifted to him by friends and family, rather than his own purchases or whatever. And that's an interesting dynamic to think about. Um, for me, it's hard to pass up a Steam sale on a game, like a ridiculous Steam sale, especially like in the winter or summer big Steam sales. It's hard for me to pass up a really good deal because I guess because I grew up in a situation and in an era where um, everything I've ever bought, everything I've ever lived on has been on a budget. I am not the richest person out there, despite me going on and on, on the previous video about my computer and all of its specs and the fact that I have 600 games on Steam and stuff. I'm not rich by any comparison. And I've gone into detail about how most of my games on Steam are either free or incredibly cheap at the time that I got them. And everything I buy, everything I live on, whatever, I live on a budget. I am probably lower middle class, I guess. I'm not like dirt poor, but I'm not exactly, really well off either. And so it's hard for me to pass up Steam sales because it's like, okay, this $50 game is now $5. When is it ever going to be $5 again? Am I going to have to wait half a year or a year or whatever for it to be $5 again? And if that's the case, you know, first of all, do I want to wait that long? Second of all, is it guaranteed that in the next Steam sale or whatever that it'll be there? That'll even be available on Steam anymore or whatever, let alone be on sale. Just because it's on Steam doesn't necessarily mean it's ever going to be on sale or what the sale might be. It might be 80% off now, but next time it might be 75% off. And so there's a few extra dollars there that I would have to buy later rather than buying it now, and that sort of thing. And so I've always lived on a budget. I've always had to consider like prices and values and that sort of thing. And so when I see a deal on Steam for a game that I want to get, it's really hard for me to resist. The only time I resist it is if I can't afford it. Like if I literally have to either buy the game or buy food for the next week. So, but then again, that's my situation. Then there are other people out there, specifically like Mindfiend, who may have similar budgetary reasons or differing budgetary reasons. I don't know his economic situation. I wouldn't dare to speak on his behalf or anybody else's. But who need to consider actually playing the game as a factor into the value of the purchase. And that's understandable. Um, that's totally understandable, and I don't begrudge anybody for including that in their deal when it comes to their decision making on what game to buy or not buy or whatever. But for me specifically, it's a matter of just having the game. The fact that I can play it is fine. I can play it. I don't have to play it. I might get around to playing it. The fact that I have a YouTube channel probably indicates that at some point I'll have more incentive to play it than I would any other uh, reason to on my own. But just having it is enough for me. That's that's more than enough for me. To me, it's more of the price of the thing. Um, the price of the game and my interest in playing it. So if it's a game that I really want and it's really cheap compared to its normal price, then it's like, okay, I'll get it now and I'll play it whenever I can get around to it. Maybe I won't be able to play it for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, or maybe I won't even be able to play it for months from now. I don't know, but at least I'll have it. At least it's there, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to wonder if it's going to be on sale when I can play it because I've already bought it on sale. I don't have to wonder if it's still going to be on Steam when I play it because I'll already have it. So I don't know. Those sorts of things matter to me more, and I think that could make for an interesting discussion. What do you specifically? What is your game buying sort of um, your motivations? I guess is the way to put it. You know, when you buy a game, when you think about buying a game, what are the factors that matter to you? Is it price? Do you even care if you buy games on sale, or will you buy a $60 game at $60? Do you use Steam, or do you just go to the store and buy a game there? Um, what is your outlook on the whole thing? There was a time when I was not a Steam user. I've only been on for the fact that I have 600 games on Steam or whatever on my Steam library. I've only been using Steam for a few years. Um like I got most of my games, I would say the majority of my games in the last couple of big Steam sales. Like last winter was a big Steam sale for me, and the summer before that when they had their summer sale. That was a big one, and maybe the winter sale before that, and that was it. But before that, I wasn't really into Steam much at all. The original reason that I got Steam was not because I wanted to use Steam for anything. The original reason that I had Steam was because I had bought Deus Ex Human Revolution retail in the store, um, but it required Steam to use for whatever reason. I guess because of the DLC or whatever. I don't know. But it required Steam to use, so that's the only reason I have Steam originally on my computer. And it wasn't until I found out about the Steam sales and stuff later on that I really got into using it as the platform that I buy most of my games now. I don't even buy games retail anymore. I just don't, because you're not gonna. You're gonna be hard pressed to find a game in a store for as cheap as you can get it on Steam. Um, it's just nigh on impossible, honestly. And Steam automatically updates, and DLCs easy to access, and on and on and on. Now, I'm not saying Steam's the best platform out there. I'm sure in a lot of respects, Origin may be even a better platform. Certainly better customer service and all that. But Steam, in terms of convenience and ease of use and all of the sales, especially, that's why I've gotten into it. It's just because Steam makes gaming so much more affordable for just about anybody. Um, Even when it comes to the younger kids who want to get into gaming, who maybe aren't old enough to have their own cards or bank accounts or whatever, and have to talk their parents into buying a game for them. It's a lot easier to get a parent to buy a game for you when the game's $5 or $2 or $7, especially when Steam has those originally priced at such and such and then grayed out, and then there's a line strike through it, and then now on sale for 80% off, $7, and it's a lot easier to say, hey mom, hey dad, would you give me this game that's only $3? Look at the big savings you're going to get. It was originally $25, and now you only have to I'm only asking for $3 for this game. So I can imagine even for the younger kids it's relatively easy and much more affordable, certainly for everybody involved. And so that's why I use Steam, and that's why I really appreciate the Steam sales and stuff. Obviously, Steam has issues when it comes to indie games and early access, and their silly green light program and all of that. But for what it is, for what it provides, it's a really useful system. And I need more cobblestone. Dang it! Dang it! Ah! And I only got what is it? 2 more pillars left? Just these two? Whatever. I need to eat. Eat and then get more cobblestone. Okay, let's go over here, and we should have some cobblestone over here. At least down below. I don't think we have any over here in this chest, but down below, over by the skeleton spawner farm thing, we should have some down here, I would imagine. Enough to get those last couple pillars done anyway. So yeah, it wasn't originally on Steam, and even when I first got Steam because of Deus Ex Human Revolution needing it, I was like, I just have it because uh, this stupid game wants me to have it, and I'm not going to make much use of it and stuff. And I don't think if it wasn't for the really big like winter and summer Steam sales, I don't know if I'd even got into Steam as it is. Even though there are like weekly sales or daily sales or whatever, I don't think I would have paid too much attention to that if it hadn't been for the big Steam sales where like almost everything goes on sale. But I can certainly understand those who will only buy games if they know they can play them soon, relatively, within the purchase. I certainly make no acts of denial or anything that my 600 games may be purchases that some would consider trivial, pointless, a waste of money. Because there are probably some games in that library that I may never get around to actually playing for one reason or another, just if time, if nothing else. Even if all of my 600 games only took 2 hours of playtime each, that's 1,200 hours right there. And most games take quite a bit longer than that, especially the games that I'm into because I like RPGs and stuff. So I have no qualms about admitting that a lot of my games may never get played. But like I said, that doesn't really bother me because I have the games. I can play them. The potential to play them is there. Um, and if I didn't have the games, there would be zero potential. So if the mood strikes me to play X, Y, or Z game at any time, I can play X, Y, or Z game at any time. But again, that's not to say my way's better or worse or anything like that. Quite frankly, I think, um, in all respects, probably Mindfiend's way of buying a game that he will purchase uh, with the intent of playing rather immediately upon purchase is probably the better way to do it, because then you are getting the most out of your money, your investment. Um, but the disadvantage to that, of course, is that you are limited to the games that you have played or are playing, and if you wanted to play a different game than your current mood or your current situation allows, then you have to, go purchase another one. And whereas I can simply turn Steam on and play, you know. Not that I usually do that. I mean, like I said, most of the games in my library I don't get played. Uh, One of the biggest issues I have with the whole game playing thing is that, I'm not going to deny it, YouTube has kind of screwed me over on that. Making YouTube videos, as fun as it is, has also been a bit of a curse in a way, as much as it's been a blessing. Because if I'm not making a video at the time I'm playing the game, I feel like I'm not getting the most out of my game time, because I'm so used to it, so accustomed to making videos for the games that I'm playing. Hello, pig. God, you scared the hell out of me. I thought for sure you were going to be a creeper or something. You scared me, pig. You scared me. And for that, you must fall. Um, Anyways. So, making gaming videos on YouTube has, like I said, kind of been a curse in a way, because I feel like if I'm not making a YouTube video, then I'm not making the most out of my game time. If I'm don't have the time to make the YouTube video, then I don't game. And so my games just sit there. And I've had enough time, especially recently with various situations going on in my life where I couldn't game. I had enough time to play quite a few games, and I didn't because I couldn't make YouTube videos. And I just had to check. Okay, yeah, we're starting on that. Um, so yeah, there's that to consider too. That's why a lot of my games haven't been played. It's not because I haven't had the time to play them. It's because I haven't felt right about playing them without making YouTube videos. And then, of course, that has led me to the idea of making these first impressions videos for these games in my Steam library, just so I can get around to playing them. Because if I make a YouTube video on them, the first 20 minutes into it, or maybe play it for an hour and then make a video after the tutorial, however I would decide to do it, at least then I would be playing the game, because I would be playing the game and making the YouTube video out of it, so I would have that feeling taken care of, where I wouldn't feel like I was wasting time, so to speak, by doing that and not making the video. So, there's that thing to consider too. That's one of the reasons, it's the biggest reason why I have wanted to do that first impressions sort of series, is just so I can say that at least I have played some of the games, or at least started to play them, at least checked them out, gave them a shot. So I don't know. It's the whole Steam gaming thing, and having such easy, readily available access to games. I can't even imagine. I grew up in a time of old school, like Atari, NES, Sega gaming, where you had to go rent a game, or you got games for Christmas or whatever. It was like you got games for Christmas and your birthday, and like almost any other time you had to rent the cartridge from, your movie store, usually your movie rental store. And that's how you played your games. And now you can have what I have, 600 games on your damn computer. So many games at your access that you will never probably be able to play right there ready for you at any time. I can't believe what it's turned into, with all the digital stuff. And could you even imagine 600 games in boxes or CDs or whatever? That would be huge. You'd have to have a whole room dedicated full, not just one bookshelf, but like a whole room full for 600 games. Now they're just all on the computer. And talk about ease of access for games. I mean, there's early access games, there's indie developers who make these games, single-handedly or with very small teams. Minecraft, this game that I'm playing right now, Minecraft, is the shining example of game accessibility because it was Notch and a small team at Mojang that made this game, and now Notch is one of the richest people around. He owns a house in Beverly Hills, and oh, damn, it's crazy to think of the time we're living in. And people my age and older, I'm in my 30s. I won't lie, I'm in my 30s. I'm getting up there in age compared to a lot of you folks on YouTube. Um, People my age and older, we like to say that, back in our day, we'd go out and play outside once in a while, and kids these days, they just sit inside all day and play. They never go outside to play. Well, guess what, people? If you had been a kid in today's age of this kind of access of gaming, you would be inside playing games too. The most access of gaming we had back in my day, especially even on computer games, was if you were lucky enough to get one of those shareware CDs that had maybe, a dozen games on it or something. And they were basically extended demos, if nothing else. And that was the grand access of your games, and it wouldn't take very long to get through that. If you had the access that the kids these days have, you would be playing it just as much as they would. You would be doing the same things. We were outside playing because we didn't have anything else to do. We didn't we didn't have 600 games or more on Steam ready to access at any one time. Damn. I can't even imagine what it'd be like to be a kid in today's world. I really, really can't. And part of me wishes I was. Part of me wishes I had the chance that the kids these days have, and another part of me is glad I don't for various reasons. But we're really not as different from the kids as we'd like to think we are. It's just that we grew up in a different time. We had different things available to us, different things to do. And there's also the situations you got to consider where, I don't have kids right now, but if I did, I'd be wary of them going outside to play these days anyway. You think about all of the crazy stuff going on in the world today, and even back when I was a kid, you know, 20 some years ago or whatever, there was always those stories about, well, you got to be careful, stranger danger, and be careful about who you talk to, and don't let someone um stop their car at the side of the road and grab you and pull you in and run off with you and stuff like that. Don't take candy from strangers and all that sort of stuff we've all heard before. Can you imagine today that happening? It's crazy, all the stories and stuff you hear. I don't know. It, it's weird to think about where we are in gaming and stuff and where we're going, you know? Because this is just the beginning. This is just baby steps of where this whole digital age and stuff is going to be going. This is just, Steam is just the first. Steam and Origin, they're just the pioneers of this. And then you think about like VR and stuff like the Oculus Rift and where all that might end up going, and it's crazy to think about even 10 years from now, 20 years from now, where we're going to be. But anyways, I'm going on and on about stuff that, like I said before in previous videos, you guys probably don't care too much about. Hopefully this generates some sort of discussion, but I got the pillars done on the bridge. All we got left is the walkway that you can see the first portion of right there. This shouldn't take us too terribly long. We just got to lay it out. I think we'll be doing that in the next video. This should be a little bit easier. It's not nearly as complicated. We just have to follow the line basically and connect the walkway down. It's going to get a little bit tricky when we go down these pillars here step by step. But we'll see where we can take this, I guess, guys. I think I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for listening and putting up with me, and if you're still watching, I appreciate it. I am the Good Old Gamer. This has been more Bountiful Minecraft. Finally, I don't know how many videos since we started this stupid bridge. We're finally going to be getting close to ending it. Finally going to have this project pretty close to being done. Stay tuned next time where we start working on the walkway. Bye-bye for now.